Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get started, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here tonight to our annual banquet, the Lawrence County Touchdown Club season finale. And where, oh where did the time go? As each and every one of you knows, the Lawrence County Touchdown Club is an organization that is up under the umbrella of the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce. And it was formed, it was organized to promote a spirit of cooperation, association among us, you, the citizens of Lawrence County. And I'm so proud to be a part of this. The board is here tonight, many of them, and I'm going to introduce them in just a few moments. But there's some special thank yous that we really need to do here tonight before we get started. And I would just like to first start out by thanking Lee's Barbecue for the great meal here tonight. Let's give them a hand. Kind of a tradition that they have the meal here at our banquet. We are so thankful. Also, the team here at the Ridge. Jason Bridges, wave your hand back there. Young man, thank you for what you do. Is this facility not immaculate? I mean, look what we have here in Lawrence County to be able to come to the Ridge. And also thank you to the City of Lawrence, who is responsible as much as anybody for the Ridge and for our banquet. We want to thank them. We've already thanked Lee's Barbecue, and I would like to thank the people of the Chamber of Commerce who really do all the work behind the scenes, and our chairperson, the director of the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce, Miss Amanda Mundy, standing right there in the door. Probably the hardest worker standing beside her, Miss Grayson Lott, and somewhere Miss Marlene Owens is in the building, and she works so hard. We want to thank each and every one of them. In our bulletins that you see there, and you see on your tables who are the game day sponsors, who provide monetarily. Yes, this is just like anything else. It takes money, so when you look right there in the center of your table, you see all those sponsors that sometime during this year, they were the sponsors for each and every Thursday at lunch when we had our banquet where we honor our players of the week, and we want to thank each and every one of them. And tonight, our game day sponsor is Lawrence County Water and Sewer Commission, and I know tonight we have Jeff Field and we have Wendy Medlock. They are the executive director and the finance director. I want to thank Jeff and Wendy, and they are responsible for the highlight of the night, which is always our door prizes that we will give away here at the end. At this time, though, you know, this club really is about our young people. It's about each and every player that plays for the Crusaders, that plays for the Raiders, and plays for the Red Devils, and we never forget our Blue Hose at Presbyterian College. Finished very strong this year. Looking forward to a great season next year from Coach Spangler and the Blue Hose. And I don't know if there's a coach anywhere in college football that works as hard as Coach Spangler. He really gets in a bunker, and he goes in there probably even on Sundays. He dives in there. He don't come out. And he gives the Blue Hose everything. We are very fortunate to have Coach Tommy Spangler leading our Blue Hose. But tonight we will honor some young men who are the all-county team, who are the best of the best for our Raiders, our Crusaders, and our Red Devils. But before we do that, we will let each high school coach, because we are truly blessed with the coaches, Coach Fountain, Coach Liner, Coach Kirk. And I'm going to bring up Coach Kirk first of our Lawrence Academy Crusaders. He's going to recap his season in the Touchdown Club. And before we do that, Doug, let's have our invocation and our blessing. And this will be by none other than the legend himself, Mr. King Dixon.
Will you pray with me, please? Our gracious Heavenly Father, we're truly grateful that we can come together under the banner of Old Glory, the flag of the United States of America, that of the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce in our great state of South Carolina, to recognize our youth who have excelled in the coaches this year. There's so many that wish they could be here, but these, dear God, you bless them and their families and their coaches and trainers. And administrators, and brought us here tonight to give honor to them. We thank you, our Heavenly Father, for our freedom, for this game of football. And as we enter this time of year, Christmas time, a time of giving, a time of memory, ending up of our year of football, but it is a time of thinking back of the past, of families gathering together for good times. May we always be thoughtful of those who are less fortunate than we and do what we can to support them. We pray for our armed forces troops and their families, particularly those that are separated this time of year. We pray your blessings upon this gathering here this evening. And we ask that everything we do to glorify your name, we ask in Master's name and for his sake. Amen.
Thank you so much. A highlight every other Thursday, Coach Liner, they'll tell you this, Coach Fountain, is when Coach Todd Kirk, the headmaster of Lawrence Academy and the head football coach, takes the mic. And up next is Coach Todd Kirk.
You didn't tell me this, buddy. It's not even on the thing here. I wasn't supposed to speak. But anyway, I'll make it up. I can do that. Thank y'all this evening. It's wonderful. These times are wonderful. You guys in school, hear what I'm saying. This is wonderful. All right? Just a little bit of enjoyment of that. I'm from the mountains of Virginia, and they wouldn't have known how to put a touchdown club together up there. All right? We didn't have this. That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. So thank you. Thank you, buddy, and this board. Thank you so much. I appreciate it continuously, over and over, coming back. And to get out of school, how about that? Get out of school and come here on Thursdays, that's a blessing. Right? That's a blessing. Anyway, thank you all. And to recap the season, I'm sure I can just pull it right off the top of my head, buddy. But anyway, know this. 5 years ago, I went 5-5, and we won the last game against Greenwood Christian that we were supposed to lose, and that was the most satisfying, one of the most satisfying seasons I ever had. Chase Brewington, heck of a basketball player, but we didn't know it, but he was really county player of the year, co-county player of the year, and I don't remember the other player who it was. Anyway, county player of the year, a heck of a competitor, played some college ball down at, somebody help me, Coker, and graduated, has done so well down there. I'll be back in this area now, I think. Don't mean to ramble, but I've not been so good since then. But this year, I went 4-5, and I went 4-5 because I only had 9 games. If I had a 10th game, I think I'd have gone 5-5. But I can say this, it's probably the most satisfying 4-5 season I've ever been through. Now, we wanted to go to the playoffs, but we didn't make it. And I've got 4 guys here who wanted to go. They they left it on the field on Friday night. And I thank them for that. And I've got Diamante, I've got Cal, I've got Thomas, and I've got Reels here. And without them, we wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have what I call turned our season toward the beginning, or toward new things and toward good things. And every Friday night I can point to them, and their tongue, in all sincerity, it was hanging the ground when the game was over because they would come off the field. In our world of A-League football, I had 12 of them, and they just don't come off the field. You just play all night. And for the first time, I couldn't finish a football game on the last hot Friday of the year. We had 7 guys cramped up. 7 different times we stopped the game. We couldn't finish. And they left it down there. Where were we at? Clarendon? It was about 96 in a van, and the air conditioner didn't work too well on the way down there. All right? But they left it down there. And you know what? They left it out there, and I can say that for the season. They left it out there. They would play. And these guys have grown up at Lawrence Academy together. And you all have your groups in your school. You're growing up with a group. This is a group of these 4 guys. They lead our program. Simple as that. We need guys around them, just like whoever's here tonight. You need players around you. But I couldn't have been happier in them sticking together and coming back. Sometimes playing when they were hurt. Didn't want to play, but you know what? We probably got a room full of guys who can tell great stories about how they played hurt. Well, we got some of them too. We sure do. And I appreciate them. And here's the thing is, I'm excited about next year because I don't have a senior. Nobody else probably can say I don't have a senior, so I'm encouraged about next year. So, hey, we were 4-5, and I sleep so good. I sleep so good. And hopefully we'll have more players. We'll be a better football team next year. And I look forward to coming back to the touchdown club. With these guys, they'll be coming back. That's a promise. They'll be coming back and doing well. I'm excited. I appreciate you all, I appreciate the season. Late in the season, it gets hard. It's hard to be around other people sometimes, but you get through it. Sometimes getting hard, first down is just hard, you know, and Coach can say that. Where's Coach Liner? Where are you? Yeah, he can say that too, and I want to congratulate him. I went and saw your I went and saw the game, playoff game, and you won in the fourth quarter. Your team has character and all those things. I appreciate them. I can congratulate him on his playoff win there and going that far at the end of the season. So, hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I'm not sure who's next here, buddy. I appreciate you having me up. How about that? Yeah.
This past year, Clinton High School, the school district 56, decided to bring Coach Corey Fountain to lead our Red Devils. Everybody in this room knows how important football is in the town of Clinton. The celebrating communities across Hill, Mountville, and Joanna, they take football serious in Clinton. They do in Lawrence as well. But this is his first year. He came in, he restored a tradition that we had lost about making the playoffs. This year, the Red Devils advanced to the playoffs in 3A football. But Coach Fountain let me and Jeannie and Coach Nichols know immediately that we're not just satisfied to get in. We're in there to win. And next year, very well may be one of the most anticipated seasons in Clinton in a long time. And up next is the head football coach of the Red Devils, Coach Corey Fountain.
Thanks, buddy. You always make the expectations up here. Just first, I want to say thanks to Touchdown Club, all the guys and women that made this possible, the businesses that made this possible, everybody that sponsors it. Congratulations to the young men that are here and their parents who have brought them up to be leaders in their school and community and on their team. The young men I brought today definitely represent our school with class. They represent our school as a champion, and wish I had them a lot longer than just this year. Wish I had them before, wish I had them next year and the year after that, because they're just a good group of guys. They bought into what we asked them to do, even though, you know, they didn't know me from Adam when I came in. And they accepted me and the things that we wanted to do to move the program forward. And I always tell them, if you can't fly, you run. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl, but we're going to keep moving forward, and that's what we did this year. 4 and 7 definitely isn't where we want to be, but it's a start. It's a starting block, and these guys are going to look back and say they were part of the group of guys that helped move our program forward. And I appreciate them greatly, and look forward to next season. Our guys are already in the weight room grinding. We're auditing ourselves, making the necessary adjustments that we need to make next year a success, and I look forward to next year. I look forward to more touchdown clubs. Thank you.
I've often said that the guys here, most of them have been player of the week, so it's a lot of repetition to them. But everyone knows I'm a Red Devil through and through. But I work every day on Main Street in Lawrence. That's where I go to work. So I'm surrounded by Raiders. I've told this story many times, but when Coach Chris Liner took the job, they come in, and I will call the name and say, "What do you think?" I said, "I'm worried, because y'all got a winner now." And I want to introduce the champions of his region, in Region 5A, Coach Chris Liner of the Lawrence Raiders.
I'm not going to really talk much about the season. We did that last time when we were here. Most of you guys were at a lot of our games. I know we got some Clinton folks and some Lawrence Academy folks, and I do want to reiterate what both coaches have said. It does mean a lot. I know sometimes when people tell you how much they appreciate you, you wonder if they actually mean it, you know, because it takes a lot of work to get stuff like this together, from Jason to the Chamber to all the sponsors to just all the people that make this work to allow our young folks to have something to feel, you know, proud of themselves for, and we do really appreciate it. Again, I know that sometimes goes on deaf ears, but, you know, at least from this guy, we genuinely appreciate you, and hopefully be able to continue to do this for a long time. I do want to just share 2 things with you just real quick. I was asked today a couple questions. Been fortunate to win a few awards this year, and honestly, those belong to our coaching staff more than me. I've got an awesome group of assistant coaches that are high character guys that really love our guys on and off the field. Sometimes I'm jealous of the relationships that they have with our players, and it's special. And we're very fortunate to have that, and we certainly appreciate the folks that have allowed that to happen. I was asked a couple things today. I was asked one thing about Duane Martin today, and I don't mean to call Duane out here, but somebody said, "Coach, just give me a few comments about Duane and what he's meant to your program, what he's meant to your team." And I think this says a lot about just kind of the success we had this year, going undefeated in the region, winning a playoff game, 9-2. Our program was 17-3 this year. And I told Duane it was really simple. In 2019, where team has kind of become an afterthought, where selfishness is often celebrated, and if not celebrated, it's at least tolerated. Duane stuck with us, and I remember going to the cafeteria with him about a year and a half ago, and just telling him how much I appreciated him trusting me and not bailing, because that's become the MO for so many folks now. When things get tough, when it's hard, when things are just not going your way, or maybe somebody shows you a vision of grandeur somewhere else, the transfer portal in college and all this craziness that we kind of just have become numb to and afraid to call people out on. We got a whole lot of young men decide that, we're just going to do it, and we're going to do it right. And, sometimes it takes time. Good things that happen in your life are always a struggle. And I thought you saw some of that this year. And it's not just Duane, it's Ryan, it's Austin. I can say that just about every one of these guys in here. And I love you guys for that, man. It's nothing makes me feel better about being the coach of Orange High School than that right there. Because that's not what you're taught in a lot of ways. That, let's go to Hillcrest, let's go to Woodruff, let's go to Greenwood, let's go here, let's go there, instead of staying here and digging in the trenches and making this place right. Clinton, you have that opportunity now. And Lawrence Academy, you do with no seniors. And that's when it's really special. That's when you go home. I'll be honest with you, last year I got Coach of the Year, I was embarrassed. We were 4-7. I didn't deserve that. And, but, I know you all know who got it this year, and I'm not trying to give a speech for that, buddy, but I don't feel bad about it this year. I was elated when I found out, because we deserved it. We earned it. And, and that's a good feeling when you can do that. I think the last thing I want to mention, and this is about all our guys here, we got a lot of guys here tonight. The future's bright for Lawrence Raider football. There's a lot of class guys in here. I mean, Coach Kirk mentioned that. Got a lot of high character guys. But when your best players, when your Duanes and your Ryans and your D's, when your best players are the most committed people in the room, then success always comes. That's a fact. And I think that's the biggest thing. If I wanted to say about the 2019 Lawrence Raiders, that would be the slogan, the motto for this group. I'm very proud of them. Thank you, guys.
We are truly blessed with the coaches that we have. With 2 boys of my own, a coach has more impact and more influence on a young lady or a young man than anybody. I'm not shortchanging teachers in no way, because coaches are teachers, especially at the high school level. Okay, academics always come first. But I guarantee you, if you poll the 20-something young men tonight, they'll tell you they trust their coaches, they love their coaches, and they play hard. And we're blessed from Coach Spangler on down of what we have in Lawrence County. Give all of them a hand, please. And speaking of blessings, we got a Super Bowl coach here tonight. Got a man who's played and coached in Super Bowls. But I've always said, if I'm not the most qualified person in the room, I'm going to let that person introduce our speaker. So one of our Lawrence County Touchdown Club legends will come up and do that. He's a man that's special to me because he had my job at Clinton High School before I did. He's the man that put me and told Clinton High School, this is going to be your next voice of the Red Devils. But this man was voice of the Blue Hose, voice of the Clinton Red Devils for many, many years, the one and only, go introduce Coach Wyche, Sandy Crookshanks.
Thank you, Brady. Sam, I'm gonna start taking up this stuff that these guys talk about me like that. That's nice. It's good to see everybody here tonight, and I know it's special for Harold. 31 years ago, I believe it was, Harold, you were a player, and you got to hear the same guy that's going to speak to us tonight right off of the Super Bowl. So special for me also. I know when we found out that Coach Wyche was going to be here and be our speaker tonight, I came to Buddy and I said, you know, I got to do this 31 years ago. I'd like to do it again. And it's special to be able to talk about somebody. Actually, Sam and I crossed paths 4 times in the last 35 or so years. I had the opportunity to go up to Furman, found out I wasn't very good, so I couldn't play up there, but I got to see Sam play at Furman University. A few years later, I got to introduce him to the Touchdown Club as a speaker, as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, just off of the Super Bowl loss. About 10 or 12 years ago, in my other life, with the politicians that I work with at the county, Sam had made a mistake and gotten elected to county council, and I got to work with Sam during that time. So 4 times, I guess it's a charm. First time I met Sam to introduce him, he showed up. I said, well, this is going to be exciting. The head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, just off the Super Bowl. And this guy comes up and he's got both arms in a cast. And I went to shake his hand and he said, you know, kind of did a wing or something like that. He had been in a pickup basketball game, the Bengals and the Cincinnati Reds. And he wasn't sure whether it was Pete Rose or Johnny Bench. One of them took him out as he was trying to go in for a basket. And he broke both wrists. True story, right, Coach? Yeah. But, yeah, that's the way I met. You know, this guy shows up, you know, can't even shake anybody's hand. You know, I looked at his bio, and I could stand up here for an hour and tell you all about the accolades and the adventures that this man has had over his lifetime. But a couple of things stand out to me, and I thought Buddy maybe had stolen my script when I heard him talking about Coach. Husband, father, broadcaster, pilot, politician, professional athlete. Super Bowl 7, Redskins, he played. Super Bowl 16, he was coach, assistant coach. 49ers, is that right? Yeah, that's San Francisco 49ers. And then Super Bowl 23, he was a head coach and lost to the 49ers. But you know, there's only a handful of people, less than a handful, 4 I believe is right, that have ever done that in the NFL. And he's here tonight to talk to us. When you get to try to describe somebody like this, we got a little video, so if you want to come on up and try to get that queued up for us. You know, you go like, okay, you can say, oh, he's a great guy, he's a great coach, great person, but Buddy touched on something about coaches and the term coach. And I know in my career, I can remember every coach that I ever played for, because they were special. They were teachers, they were leaders, they were mentors, they were directors, they were motivators, they were coordinators, they were organizers, innovators. No huddle offense, there's your guy, he invented it, okay? For you young guys, you know, y'all think that's just a routine thing now. The fact is, Coach Wyche had a little problem with the NFL for the Super Bowl because they told him that wasn't real football. You had to have a huddle. He didn't believe it. Turned out pretty good. A tutor, an inspirationalist, you can go on. All of those titles end up in a 5-letter word. Coach. And he's going to speak to you here in just a moment.
Don't look at me. I got a flip phone. Here we go. Got a technician. What's the problem?
You like the pressure? This is what the game's all about. Put yourself in a little pressure shot. You'll see how good you get. AFC champions. En route to Miami in the Super Bowl. The spark worked. They won the ball game against the New England Patriots. The situation, not the controversy, the situation that follows it. If Neil O'Donnell has a slow part of the ball game, do the fans start to react? Do the players start to react and look around and see, well, what do the players do? They don't do it by looking around. They next stay still, their eyes move left to right, wondering if Neil O'Donnell's coming out of there.
And that's exactly right, and that's my whole point in this thing. I think Glenn Foley should be getting a chance to play the game.
Chris Collinsworth is wrong. He's on the wrong side, and we have Sam straddling the fence. He doesn't know where he wants to go, and I'm only one that's right here. Bill Parcells is right. Well, Sam, he's going to love this. This will give him something for the whole year. I used to say Sam, as genius as he is, which he is, he's much smarter than Joe.
Thanks a lot, Mike. I don't know if Ahmad Rashad and Greg Gumbel and Chris Collinsworth agree with that, but I actually do.
What he does, if he tries to trick people too much, sometimes you got to hit him in the face and make their eyes water.
That's very nice information, but you know, I always had a more subtle way of getting my point across.
Wake up! You're looking at me like I'm not even talking, you're not hearing me.
That's Sam Wyche, boy. He's some kind of speaker. Some bad speaker, man. He used to bore me to death in those meetings.
I was the guy that cut Chris Collinsworth before you get that comment, but he's a good guy and a good friend. As you can tell, there were a couple of shots in there that were a little dated. It was right before puberty, or it was me when I did it. I need the help on something in just a second, and I'm looking at you back there in the back. Would you come up here? Are you famous or anything? Is it going to cost me money? All right. I appreciate you having me here. I'm here by myself. My wife, Jane, was unable to come because I left because she wasn't in the car. What's your first name? Chase. You know my first name? Chase. Same thing. How about that? Can you believe it? No. All right. But I live in Pickens, South Carolina. I want to tell you and get this out of the way. As you can tell, the left side of my face is different than the right side. Can you tell? Look at this. Why do I smile? It's even worse. However, I just want to tell you, I saved almost $16 in Walmart by not having to buy a Halloween mask this year. So it paid off for me. And I'm still doing it. If you can, if I'm audible, we're in good shape. But what I want is you to chase, right? Like running away, you're chasing somebody? No, not like that? Jace. Okay, Jace. He'll be in the paper one day, so you want to know who that is. Jace, I'm going to bring this out here. And what I want you to do tonight, since we've got a lot of players here, you can have a seat if you want to, or you don't have to if you don't want to. But if you do, just go right ahead and sit down. All right. Since we've got a lot of players here and coaches here, there's a couple of, there are a lot of things that weave through. It doesn't matter what level you're playing. It doesn't matter whether you're really good, whether you're a starter, whether you're waiting your turn to get in the lineup. But a lot of things kind of run through a good team and a team that is trying to be good. And regardless of how good you are, and Jace, I can tell, just looking at you, you think you're pretty hot stuff, right?
I'm going to prove to Chase that he is better than he thinks he is. And you think you're pretty good. It's okay to say that. Yeah, don't say to everybody like that because it's very annoying. But I'm going to prove to Chase that he's better than he thinks he is, and better than you thought you were. Have a seat right there. It's good. Face the front. That's right. All right. Chase, I want you to do one thing. Can you hear me okay if I drop it down here?
Yes.
Don't pick it up. Don't have to do that, though. Chase, I want you to raise your right hand as high as you can for me. All right? Put it down. Yeah, put it down. Now, I want you to raise your right hand even higher this time. Oh, it's about a good 4 inches higher. Now, let's review just a second. Remember the first question I asked you was raise your hand as high as you can. And you either thought it was as high as you thought you could, or maybe you were messing with me. We don't know exactly what was going on there, but you raised your hand as high as you thought you could, right? And then with just a little encouragement, a little help from somebody else, a little coaching, a little teaching, you were motivated to move your arm up even higher. Same thing happens on the football field. Get out there the first day of practice, got to say, we're all pretty good, we're going to be fine. A week later, after they've had some coaching, they're even better. It's just the way it is. I bet I can get you to raise your hand even higher. You want to bet? 20 bucks? I got 20. I got 20 on me. You want to bet 20? You sucker. All right. Stand up. Now raise your hand. Oh, now it's up here. Now raise your hand even higher. Get it up there. Now get up on the chair. I got it right here. I've got a lawyer in the back of the room, another lawyer. All right. Raise your hand again now. Now get your hand even higher. Get on your tiptoes. Get up there. Get up higher. And down. All right. Have a seat. Back there. You have fun with that. Point being, every team starts out the same way. Pretty good. They've been working in the off-season, getting ready, and whatever it happens to be. Pro teams come in after, they have what they call off-season training activities, OTAs, and they have to be there or they don't get their bonus that afternoon. But you've always got something left, like Jace did. There's always a little bit more you can do. There's always a little bit better you can play. And maybe there's a little bit more touchdowns you can score or tackles you can make to prevent a touchdown. I'm going to prove now, if you're a football player in this room right now, do you shake so I know where you are? Would you raise your hand if some of you are right here? Raise your hand even higher. All right, good. All right. Now you pay real close attention because I'm going to go fairly fast, and the people here were super nice to let me do this. But on the back wall up here, if you look close, you can see that I painted a green elephant. Now it's lime green. It's only the sad thing about the elephant, he only has 3 legs. He lost his right hind leg in a horrible hacksaw accident, very bloody. But he's gets around pretty good, got limps, but he's got 3 legs, so obviously you can do that. His trunk though is different. His trunk looks like a sliding board and it's yellow, as he stands there. On this wall over here, I painted a red frog. Now the red frog has his hands back behind his head, like he signed a big NFL contract. Or like that, whatever that coach's name is out with the Oakland Raiders. He's making way too much money for what he's putting on the field. Actually, when I got fired in Tampa Bay, Tony Dungy took my job, and he lasted about 3 years, and then he got fired. And this guy gets it. Anyway, on this wall over here, I got the red frog. Now, the red frog's got his hands behind his head. He's wearing a big cowboy belt buckle. And on the cowboy belt buckle is a bucking bronc with a rider. Now the rider has his left hand on the horn of the saddle. He's got his right hand up in the air, and he's swinging it around. And he's missing the tooth right here. It's called an incisor. I can't do it. I'm a total mess. Do you know that? I mean, my face is all messed up. I've got melanoma cancer, but I take treatment every morning. I did this morning. I want to get it at 9:30 in the morning with radiation. I'm stage 3 cancer, or stage 3 kidney disease. I'm telling you. And if Halloween doesn't come around pretty quick, you don't celebrate anything all year long. But I appreciate you having me here. The Red Frog, though, with the belt buckle, the cowboy belt buckle, is sitting on a big sofa that he just bought, probably from bonus money. Now, on the back there is an orange giraffe. Now, the orange giraffe is standing. The difference about this little orange giraffe, he doesn't have normal markings on him. He's got zebra stripes. And he's standing there, and he's got his front legs across like this. He's just standing there normally. And the giraffe, with the zebra stripes, the sad part, he's got a broken neck. His neck is just like this. And there's drool coming out of the corner of his right corner of his mouth. And on this wall over here, I painted a football player. He's wearing a white jersey, number 21. He's in the Heisman stands, wearing his favorite shoes. You can tell they're his favorite shoes because they're just about worn out. In fact, the left shoe over there's a big hole right there where his big toe is. You can see his nasty old fungus toe sticking out, just right out of it the whole time. Just the players that raised their hand. Does anybody remember which hand on the belt buckle of the Red Frog was in the air? Just yell it out if you remember. Right. What number was on that jersey with the football player? 21. How many legs did the elephant have? How did he lose it? Axle accident. And the giraffe, he didn't have normal markings. What were they? Which side of the mouth was the drool coming out of the giraffe's mouth? The right side. You just blew your cover. Don't be coming home telling mom and dad or grandma, grandpa, or aunt and uncle or whoever. Don't be telling them, I'm as smart as the other kids. The teacher doesn't like me. I'm not going to make good grades because they're going too fast for me. I just gave you 26 individual specific facts. And that's hard for me to say out of the corner of my mouth. 26 individual specific facts. You didn't study overnight. You didn't take notes. You didn't work in groups. You know what you did? You paid attention. Now, it's kind of goofy and kind of fun, but you paid attention. And that's why you know there was something unusual about the shoes that football player was wearing. Do you remember what it was? What was sticking out of that hole in the shoe? Nasty fungus toe, that's right. By the way, this time next week, you will not be able to get that out of your mind right now. The image will stick with you. That's what will happen. But the point I'm making here is you've always got something left as a player. You've always got the mental ability, and believe me, it's a little tougher in front of a crowd standing on your feet with a 40-second clock going. Different deal than it is sitting in the room learning, listening to a teacher talking to you. My wife, Jane, who I wish she was here because, well, that's all right. I don't really care if she's here or not. Let's just keep that between us. What do you say? All right, I just want to tell you three short stories. They're short stories, and they're all true, except for one. But they got a point to them. I was speaking right before I got my heart transplant. Did we mention I'm a heart transplant recipient? I was waiting on this. You see, my nose is running now. That is not my nose running. Those are tear ducts that are running because I do the radiation. But I'm not going to stick this all the way up my nose. I was speaking before the heart transplant 3 years ago, and on the 16th of this month, it'll be 3 years and 3 months. And today, I got a letter from the dad of the donor, first time. So I'm going to get to meet him. He's going to get to put his ear up against my chest and hear his son's heartbeat one more time. Can't wait. But I was speaking at a school for kids that are disruptive in class. Now, they're not bad kids. These aren't outlaws. These are kids that just, for one reason or another, they're a little hyper, or maybe they feel a little bit out of place. Sometimes home life is tough. Whatever it happens to be, here they were. There were about 35 kids, room about this size. Those two corners were security guards. The principal, the counselor, and another security guard were standing behind me. And I'm standing ready to go. And about where you're sitting right there, about that distance from me, they were sitting around tables sitting just like this. About 35 of them. This is a true story. And I'm giving my what-for talk and moving along pretty good. And I'm looking around, and the kids are seem to be paying attention. There was one kid, though, sitting about where you are, that sat there the whole time. He never moved. He never looked around. He just looked straight ahead at his hands, and he was playing with his thumbs. He wasn't really doing anything. He was just looking. But he would look up over his eyebrows and just look up, never raised his head. But he was sitting still. And when it was over with, I reached out to him, shook hands. There you go. He didn't do that though the first time. He just looked at me like, hey dude, I'm not shaking your hand. I don't know who you think you are, but I'll let you shake it down I don't to. And I reached out a second time and a little bit farther, and he reached out a little bit farther too. He shook my hand. Not only did he shake my hand, but he kind of smiled when he did it. I turned around and headed back towards the principal, and the principal, female principal, she said, I don't believe that. I said, you don't believe what? Because I didn't think anything happened other than I shook the kid's hand. I said, thanks for paying attention. She said, that kid is a repeat offender. He'll come here, he'll stay a week or so. We send him back, it's not 2 or 3 days later. He's right back out here. They send him back because he's disturbing the class again. So the problem with him is he really doesn't know who his mom or dad are, and much less where they are. He stays with an aunt or a grandmother or somebody we think, but the kids tell me that he will every now and then will stay with one of their buddies, or he will sleep in the back of an unparked and unlocked car. That's his life. So he didn't have any time to go home and study and be prepared and therefore be ready for the next class. That's why he was so much a loner. And he had the typical high school acne problem, so that was on top of that. I looked at it though, I could tell by his clothes, it looked like they hadn't been washed or ironed ever. And his whole attitude was just be quiet, shut up, and don't draw any attention. Well, class is over, kids are walking out, and the principal says, I don't believe that either. I said, good grief, well, you don't believe anything. What don't you believe now? She said, look, just as he's leaving the door, about right where that door is, he turns back to us, and he gives a two-finger little salute, and smiles a second time. She said, that's the second time I've ever seen him smile since he's been here. I went back about, right before I had my heart transplant, I went back and spoke again. He had not come back a single time. Here's what went through my mind. This lady, Coach thinks, I'll bet you that kid rarely, if ever, had somebody thank him for something he did for somebody else. He did me a favor because when I shook his hand, I said, man, I just want to thank you for paying attention. You were locked in, dude. And I knew that if I kept my eyes on you, I'd be okay. Because this is a tough crowd that I was talking to. And I just wanted to thank you. And that was strange to him that he did. He reached out and shook hands. But he was never included in groups. They never gave him an assignment to have to make a report on or help out with the homecoming parade or whatever it happened to be. He was left out because he was just a little bit different. He wasn't quite as good as the rest of them were until he was recognized, and then he changed his attitude. That's the way it is on a football team. You're going to have some guys that don't get to play, Maybe they don't even make the travel squad sometimes, but they're not regulars. They're waiting their turn in line. Maybe they're underclassmen, whatever it happens to be. But they are as responsible for winning or losing as much as anybody else on that team, and I'll tell you why. I always ask my football team, whether I was the head coach of the Bengals or the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or an assistant coach with the San Francisco 49ers or the Buffalo Bills, I think that's where I last got fired, so that was super. But I would always ask the guys, first meeting, all right, how many of you guys want to win? Well, shoot, they always, I mean, I'm not stupid. The head coach asks you if you want to win, get your hand up. All right, put your hands down. How many of you want to be part of the reason we're going to win? Boomer Esiason and I used to have a little deal. He was left-handed, so he put the wrong hand up every time. But he'd go left-handed up and he'd say, excuse me, coach, what does that mean, be part of the reason we're going to win? Does that mean I got to work harder at practice, I got to run more laps, I got to look at more film, take more notes, pay more attention? What's the deal with that one? I said, yes, Boomer. You got to do all of that. You got to give it your best shot. Cal Ripken Jr., you remember the baseball player, played, I think it was right at 3,000 games, never missed a day on the field. And my favorite sports quote comes from him when a sports writer asked him, why don't you take a day off like the rest of the guys, get your legs back? And his answer was, I don't take a day off because there may be somebody in those stands that's never seen me play before. I got to give them a good first impression. And there may be somebody in those stands that's never going to see me play after today. I got to leave a great lasting impression with that one. That's why I got to be out there all those times. The good football players want to be out there, whatever it takes. They want to pay attention so that they not only remember the number of the jersey on that foot. I forgot what it was. Anybody remember? 21. Okay, that's pretty good. Close. Those guys are the ones that really make you a winner. And the guy that doesn't get in the game is just as important and wants to win, wants to be part of the reason you're going to win. And he does it during the week. He works those starters good. He puts them through their paces so that when game time comes, they're ready to play and prepared to play for it. I just want to finish with this last story. This was a true story, but it's one that's important for all of us. Have you noticed that I wipe my nose a lot when I talk? It's only because of the surgery. Sorry about that. In 1968, I was a rookie with the Cincinnati Bengals. I played quarterback. I was 6'4", 220, coming out of Furman. I played 1 year minor league ball in Wheeling, West Virginia, with the Dallas Cowboy organization. It was kind of like a farm team in those days. And after 1 year, I decided there wasn't going to be a future there for me in the minor league. So Jane and I decided we would go back. I'd go back to school and get my MBA degree. I was going back to the University of Virginia, Medical College of Virginia, in hospital administration, not to be a doctor. Well, I couldn't take care of myself, much less somebody else. But I got a phone call from a guy. They had been at Furman when I was coaching, when I was playing at Furman. He was now at South Carolina. And he said, hey, we're short one graduate assistant. Paul Beach was the head coach. And he needs somebody to work with the defensive backfield coach. And a young guy named Lou Holtz. You'll like him. So I was Lou's grunt. I was about 22, 23 years old. I was gorgeous too, I'm telling you. But anyway, I'm coming back there, and so I would study more film. I knew the mannerisms. We were playing Alabama. I was the Alabama quarterback. But I hadn't understood how he checked off or snapped count, or when he went on a quick count, what it looked like. And so I was better able to do it than get one of the other guys to do it. So I would throw the ball around. When the scouts came around, I'd leap in front of the Gamecock players, and I'd throw the ball out there onto the big telephone poles we had as targets. Lou said, hey, Lou Holtz said, if I get you a tryout with the Bengals, will you please get out of the way when the scouts come down to look at our players? You betcha. Right in the middle of final exams, I have final on Monday. Cincinnati at St. X High School, I had a workout with the Bengals. Flew back, had 2 exams on Wednesday, passed them, thank goodness. And Paul Brown, there were about 18 guys. They called 4 guys in to see Paul Brown. I was one of them. And he sit down in front of the legend, and he says to me, we're like signing a contract, 1968. These were his words, we're going to pay you $11,000 to play with our football. Play with our football. I didn't even get a chance to own the football. But ended up being the starter at the end of that year and was ready to play. But at the end of that year, back at training camp, here's the point of my whole story. Training camp's over in Wilmington, Ohio, 40 miles north of Cincinnati. Training camp says 2 days, if the ball players understand what that's all about. You're dehydrated all the time. Coach says we're going to have a workout in the morning in shells, just shorts and t-shirts, and then we're going to head on back to Cincinnati. We'll have a meeting later this afternoon, be ready to be there, blah, blah, blah. Give us our instructions. Everybody goes back to their dorm. I'm coming out with my 2 borrowed suitcases from my grandmother. That's what I had. I'm thinking there'll be hey, I'm a quarterback in the NFL big time. There'll be a limo waiting for me out here somewhere, or a Greyhound bus will be. Not a car in the parking lot. True story. Nothing. And I looked in the far back corner, and there was 1 car left. You know whose it was? Paul Brown, owner, general manager, and head coach and legend, who won 11 national titles, or world titles they were called in those days, with the Cleveland Browns, named the team after. I got a ride home with him. On the way home, we pulled into something called a service station. Some of you may remember that. They used to actually come out and wipe the windshield, check the oil, walk around, make sure the tires were up, put the gas in the car for you. Well, the guy comes out, we pull into the Shell oil station. Here's the look, now I'm not exaggerating. The guy comes out like this. I'm like Tim Conway on the Carol Burnett show. Remember the one where he stabbed the double-cated with Dennis Hills? That's the one. Anyway, he barely made it out there. Paul Brown turns to me and says, Sam, you see that guy right there? Yes, sir. I said, yes, sir, ma'am, big time. Yes, sir, I do. He said, you know who that is? I said, no, sir, I should have known. He says, do you know anybody at Shell Oil Company? You know any big CEOs or regional managers or district supervisors, anything? No, sir, I don't. Here's where he left a life lesson. He turned to me and said, well, Sam, and that guy is Shell Oil Company to everybody that comes through this station. And fellas, you are Clinton High School, or you're Lawrence, or you're at the county school, you are representing your team, your city, your coach, the people that love you, the people that don't love you, but hang around with you. You represent a lot. And letting your guard down just a little bit at the wrong time can leave the wrong impression, the Tim Conway look, instead of the one you want to live. I appreciate you having me here tonight. I'm sorry I look so bad and I have to keep wiping my nose. These are tears though, by the way. This is not actually, boogers and stuff. Let me just do one. I know you want to talk too long, but can you Guy asked me one time, show me the details of throwing a pass. This is what I came up with. You want to know the technique on how to throw a pass? Well, first place, you take the ball back with 2 hands. Don't take it here, because one time you'll take it there, the next time you'll take it here. You're never in the same place, so your accuracy goes out the window. Take it back with the same. And as you go to release it, you're going to release it with the fingertips, these 3 fingers, the last thing that touch the ball. That creates a spiral. If it's your thumb, you get the porpoise look. So I would get the quarterback together, and Bill Walsh, who was the head coach when I was starting out coaching, said, be specific with everything you coach these guys now. I had this young guy from Notre Dame named Montana that had a long way to go. But anyway, I said, how many of you guys raise your hand, how many of you guys pick your nose? Well, they looked around at each other and we got a real beaut for a coach this year. I said, I'm serious, how many of you guys pick your nose? Finally, they all raised their hand. By the way, Joe Montana picks his nose, you know. Just like the rest of them. And he raised, I say, you ever get a good booger on the end of your and you try to get rid of that booger, you ever try to get rid of it doing this right here? It ain't coming off, dude. You ain't gonna get it off doing like this. Let me show you the best way to get rid of a booger on the end of your face. If I want to throw it right over your head right there, I got to step right at the point of the direction I want it to go. I take my arm back and I kind of torque my body this way just a little bit and use my left elbow to pull it around. And then I bring it over the top, and when I get to the top, boom, I let it go, right there. I said, when you do that, you'll have them ducking all the way across the room. Because that booger's coming, and it's coming. Well, you throw a pass, smile, and you flick a booger with the same action. So from then on, when the quarterback threw one of those wobbly ducks out there, and he's coming back to the huddle in training camp or to me, he'll walk by me and I'll just go booger, booger, booger. I do remember Joey Montana one time coming by me in training camp, and we were up in Sacramento in training camp, and he goes back and I'm going booger, booger. He says, did I do, oh, Coach, did I do that? I said, yes, and we're paying you a lot of money not to do that. He goes, oh man, I'm sorry. I'll never forget, he really thought I was serious. But I am serious about being here, and y'all have been terrific. Thank you very much. Good night.
I apologize for the speaker problem. Let's go ask Coach Wyche. Let's give him another big hand. I don't know if you heard Sandy, but there's only 4 people ever in the history of the world. This will be Super Bowl 54 that's played in a Super Bowl. Been an assistant coach in a Super Bowl and been a head coach. It's Mike Ditka. Who is the coach name?
Mike Ditka,
Dan Reeves, Tom Flores, and our speaker tonight, the legend, Sam Wyche. Coach Wyche is going to stand here as we introduce our all-county team. And I'm going to ask Gene Simmons, our vice president of the Lawrence County Touchdown Club, to come up. He's going to give our players their certificate. We're about to meet 23 young men who mean so much to the county. And I also want to, while we talked about Coach Wyche as a legend, if you look in your bulletins, right on the inside on the second page, these are our Lawrence County football legends. Herbert Adams, if you're here tonight, please stand. Sandy Crookshanks, Coach Harold Nichols right here by my side, Coach Bobby Ivy, Coach Keith Richardson, Coach Bob Strock, Truman Owens, the legend himself right here, Mr. King Dixon, and Mike Owens. These are our legends here in Lawrence County, and they mean so much to us. Without further ado, it's time to meet the 2019 all-county team here in Lawrence County. Up first are 4 young men who played for the Crusaders at Lawrence Academy under the direction of Coach Todd Kirk. First up, Thomas Lowry. Make your way up here, Thomas. A junior, quarterback, defensive back, 2,084 yards, 30 touchdowns, ran for 822 yards. This young man hates to lose, so that means he wins. He's a leader on offense. Coach Kurt said he played hurt, he pushed through it. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Lowry. Our next player representing the Crusaders, another two-way player, tight end and defensive end, a sophomore, Diamante Grant. 27 catches, 300 yards, 66 tackles, calls, 6 fumbles, 2 interceptions. This is Coach Kurt and Thomas Lowry's third down go-to guy, and he also made his presence on D. Ladies and gentlemen, Diamante Grant. Our next player represented Crusaders, a wide receiver, a linebacker, only a sophomore. He did it all for the Crusaders. This is Cal Robertson. He played every position on the field. Coach Kurt said, I could not ask this man for any more of the effort. He played sideline to sideline, 44 receptions, 880 yards, Cal Robertson. Another young man, very good friends with his dad. His dad can play some football too. But this young man is an offensive lineman, a junior representing the Crusaders. This is Relis Littleton. Two-way player. His forte was pancake blocking. He put them on their back. He also defensively 37 tackles, 11 tackles for loss calls, 4 fumbles. Coach Kurt calls him probably the most improved so much throughout the year. Got better. Ladies and gentlemen, Relis Littleton. All-county team, those are our Crusaders. Up next will be our Clinton Red Devils. Got to put them right in the middle with the two Lawrence teams, under the direction of head football coach Corey Fountain. First young man cannot be here tonight. Literally right now, he's on the basketball court playing for the Red Devils. A special young man, very special to me and my wife, Renee. A running back, a defensive player, does it all. Only a junior, Keymon Quarles. Keymon was the leading rusher and the receiver for the Red Devils. Coach Nichols will tell you, Gene will tell you, a great athlete, always gives his best. Keymon Quarles. Our next player, Shy Kiner. Shy with us tonight? Shy couldn't be with us tonight. This young man, on the radio, me and Gene and Harold, we call him the workhorse. 6.4 yards a carry. You talking about potential, tremendous, as competitive as any player on the Red Devils team. Only a junior, 117 carries, 752 yards, Shy Kiner. Our next Red Devil is here. He's a leader. He's won our rock solid player of the game so many times when we give that out on Friday nights. He's a senior. The Red Devils are going to miss him. He did it all. Offense, defense. He runs so hard. Whatever Coach Fountain needed him to do, he would do it. Block, tackle. That means he's unselfish. And he is very competitive. And he, without a doubt, is a leader for the Clinton Red Devils. A senior. Number 32, Greg Sanders. These next two young men, they're coming up one right after the other. They represent the left side of the Red Devil offensive line. The first one was the tackle. So he and the second one, they were the anchors. This young man is physically tough. He played hurt. He's also already been named to the South Carolina High School Blitz All-Star. He will play at the next level. Number 73, senior Jacob Hall. He solidified that left side of the line, so he's an anchor as well. He works hard. He led exactly the way you want somebody to lead, by example. Even when I say that, in the summertime, he led the Red Devils. He's a senior, so we will miss him. He graded out at 87% with 36 knockdown blocks. This is senior number 52, Darian Grant. Our next Red Devil could not be with us tonight. He too is on the basketball court playing tonight. He's only a sophomore. He made this very team last year as a 9th grader. This young man probably only weighs 150 pounds, but he gives you everything he's got. He's also in the top 20 in his high school class. He never complains, makes an impact both ways, and I promise you, the entire community of Clinton is counting on this young man next year. He wears number 22, Ja'Cory Gary. And last but not least, for the Clinton Red Devils, a senior. This young man's going to be missed. He's probably the biggest Gamecock fan in the world, bigger than you, King Dixon. They call him the General. He's all heart. Greg will tell you, Darren will tell you, all the Red Devils will tell you. This man leaves it out there on the field. He's a practice player. He leads every way you can. He will succeed in life. Number 33, Austin Kaufman. We all know the Raiders, the season that they had this year. I mean, they took us on a magic carpet ride. That's what they did. And they got more representation than anybody on this team, deservedly so. They, just like the Crusaders, Red Devils, a lot of these guys played both ways. I think the first one I'm going to play defense. 67 tackles, 5 for loss, 5 pass breakups, 4 interceptions. Probably the most improved player on the team. Registered incredible numbers for tackles from his cornerback position, number 4, Mark McGowan. We'll read these off. You'll know who I'm talking about immediately. 67 tackles, 4 for loss, 5 pass breakups, 8 quarterback pressures, 2 sacks, 1 interception, 2 block PATs. That's defense. Offense, 712 yards rushing, 6.9 a carry, 14 touchdowns, 4 pass receptions, 2-way starter, incredible numbers, played both ways. Number 21, Duane Martin. Our next one's ready. Play linebacker. He's tougher than his daddy ever was. He wears number 8. 58 tackles, 8 for loss, 4 pass breakups, 2 quarterback pressures, 2 sacks. A high-energy physical linebacker that really gets it done, especially on those run fits. He was the team captain and did a good job of holding the guys accountable. Number 8, Jackson Mann. Our next Raider played outside linebacker safety, 74 tackles, 5 pass breakups, 2 quarterback pressures, caused fumbles, recovered fumbles. This young man made incredible strides this season. Coach Liner says very dependable, incredibly coachable, tough young man. Number 25, Lyndon Goff. Our next Raider, he's as tough as they come. They call him blue collar, a warrior, literally out on the field. Awesome fundamentals and work ethic. He had 60 tackles, 6 of them being for loss, 3 pass breakups, 7 pressures, 1 caused fumble, 1 interception, and blocked the field goal. Number 10, Garrett Addy. side of the ball, played offensive line, graded 90%. 37 knockdown blocks. Had to move to center after week 5 because of an injury to Hunter Mann, who was the leader of our offensive line. But this young man did an incredible job filling that role. Extremely athletic for a lineman. Very tough, physical. Number 56, Braden Smith. Wears jersey number 64. Plays the offensive line where he graded at 94% with 58 knockdown blocks. A complete offensive lineman. He really improved over the course of the season, and that's scary because he was already good. First class young man, number 55, Cole England. Next young man for the Raiders, this is their quarterback. 131 times he run the ball for 919 yards. That's 7 yards a carry. 13 TDs rushing with a long of 76 yards. 820 yards passing for another 6 touchdowns. The team captain, a 4-year starter at quarterback. He had a breakout season and made some of the most critical plays for the Raiders when the stakes were the most high. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Extremely high character. One of the best overall human beings, Coach Liner says, that he's ever coached. Number 2, Ryan Campbell.
Great smile.
Our next Raider plays running back. He wears jersey number 1. 97 times he ran the ball for 591 yards. That's over 6 yards a carry. 7 touchdowns on the ground with a long of 61 yards. This young man is just a sophomore. Zai is very physical. He's what you call a downhill runner. Coach Liner says very strong with the football. This is Zai Todd. Well, when you read that old announcer, you remember the Raiders that catch all the passes. You remember the ones that can just fly and make it happen because you have to know they go get the ball. This one's a young man wears jersey number 7, a wide receiver this year. 499 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. That's 17 yards a catch. Coach Liner said he made some of the most crucial catches this year, including the game winner versus Woodmont. First time playing football in 3 years and became an incredibly positive presence in the Raider locker room. Number 7, D. Foster. Any team you have in football, from whatever level it is, you have to have a young man that punts the football. It's as crucial a position as they are. This young man wears jersey number 30. He would average 37 yards a punt. Several that went over 50 yards. 8 he put inside the 20-yard line. 6 had to be fair call. Coach Liner says he's got a great work ethic. Loves to punt so much that he gets mad when the Raiders get first downs because he's ready to punt the football. Ladies and gentlemen, Juan Cervantes. Austin James. All right, get ready, young man. I apologize for that, I really do. Offensive lineman, 94% is what this young man graded at. A complete offensive lineman cracked 4 helmets in the last 2 years. Flat out gets after you on every play. For the Raiders, number 64, Austin James. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2019 All-County team. We want to thank GoLawrence.com. Each coach nominates so many players, and the media there, we want to especially welcome and thank them for being here tonight. Nick Herman, Vic McDonald, Monty Dutton, Mike Hughes for all they do to promote football here in the community of Lawrence County. Up next is an award in which we give each and every year. It's already been known who it is, but it doesn't diminish the fact that who they are. So up first is going to be our 2019 Lawrence County Touchdown Club Player of the Year. This young man, he really matured in his 4 years as a Lawrence Raider. He's the epitome when you hear elite football player, the team captain, the region player of the year, the upstate 5A player of the year, Shrine Bowl, a finalist for Mr. Football in the state of South Carolina. And Duane, I just want to say from the Touchdown Club board, as you get ready to come up, not many times we can say this about players for the Crusaders, the Red Devils, or the Raiders. But there were people who literally came to KC Hanna Stadium to buy a ticket just to see you play. Ladies and gentlemen, the County Player of the Year, Duane Martin. Also, everyone knows tonight that Coach Liner is our Coach of the Year. He said earlier tonight that he was ashamed last year to get this award. So this is 2 years in a row that Chris Liner has gotten this award. And I alluded earlier what my comments I made about Chris Liner. I've known him for a long time. We talk all the time. We got so many mutual friends. And let me tell you this about Chris Liner. When he came here, he's already proven what we knew how good a coach he was. This is as good a man as you ever see. Because he has the ability to look you in the eye and tell you what he needs to tell you. That is not usual in most people. He treats the janitor the same way he treats the mayor. And what I mean by that is you can be rich, you can be successful, you can be accomplished, you can have so much. How you treat people tells everything about you. This man literally may have saved the Lawrence County Touchdown Club because a major decision had to be made this year. And he said it as good as anybody, and those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. The 2019 Coach of the Year in Lawrence County, Coach Chris Liner. At this time, before we conclude with our door prizes, I'm going to ask some very special people if they will to stand. 2 of them's already come up here working and moving. But this is your board of directors here at the Touchdown Club. David Hicklin, Mason Addy, Sharon O'Brien, David Pitts, Gene Simmons, Pastor Ricky Letson, Suzanne Lowry, Coach Harold Nichols, Scott Tollison, Miss Wendy Medlock, and a special thank you to the Chamber staff. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your directors of the Lawrence County Touchdown Club. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. We have really moved fast and worked this thing through. I want to thank all the media for being here, helping us select this team, especially Go Lawrence and Go Clinton. Wendy Medlocks will come up now. Remember that our game day sponsor is the Lawrence County Water and Sewer Commission. So if you will get your tickets out, somebody is going home with some prizes.